All right, now we're live on Facebook. Good morning, everybody. Remember, you can come on to Zoom with us for our open coaching Q&A today. Super excited to have you guys here. Now, I'm going to be honest. Was there a list of questions? Heather's not on it. Usually she does stuff like that. Sometimes there's a list of questions. Sometimes there's not. We're good with
I saw Heather Wagner asked a question under the reminder. There was a question that she had put there, but I can go look since Heather's not here.
Will
So
you?
just a
That would
minute.
be
Yep.
helpful. Okay, well, today is um June 28th, 2024. And I'm gonna switch to my awesome computer blocking glasses so that I don't have raisin eyeballs by the time I'm 50. My name is Robin Whitworth, and um, the Elevated Mother Collective is a brainchild. I don't even want to call it that. It's a heart child. It's a heart child. And we are super, super excited. It looks like we've got Jackie, we've got Heather, we've got people coming on. It's so exciting. You guys come into Zoom if you can. We would love, love, love to have you right here with us. I think Missy put the link right there in the comments. Brittany Croft is watching. Megan's here. Alicia, Sierra are on live with us today. Oh, Rebecca is coming in. Yay, you guys, this is so fun. So fun having some of our favorite people come online with us. This is our monthly Q&A that is open to anybody that's inside our Elevated Mother Collective or other people that have chosen to come on and get a feel for coaching, get a feel for that. And some people come because they realize that we've got some amazing collective wisdom here in the leadership of the Elevated Mother brand. Speaking of which, if you are on the Elevated Mother team of leadership, please give us a little wave. People can see who you are. We have Missy, Christy, and Sharian that are part of the leadership team. And if Heather Shoemaker pops on, she may be here, but she is deep in remodel of her brand new house that she brought in through the principles of this program after wanting it for many, many years. So we're very excited for Heather and all of the things that are happening in her life right now. As you come into the collective, you're all assigned an elevation specialist. So if you're in the Elevated Mother Collective Facebook group, which some of you have gotten this link through our email marketing, you may not be in that group, but we do live classes in there. It's very much a wonderful community to be part of. Go get in there if you're not in. But if you're in, you've been assigned one of these ladies or myself, and we are your touch point person, the person that you can go to say, hey, I want to know about your programs. Hey, I need support with this. Share me your wisdom. We are all totally up for that. So I don't know why I can't see this waiting room people, but we're figuring it out. Facebook has made it a little bit more interesting to stream live. So your screens look a little bit different. If you're in the online world, you'll know what I'm talking about. So I'm kind of moving my screen around so that I can see both chat boxes, but that doesn't mean I won't miss something. That's why you have a team. Heather's iPhone, is that Heather? Okay. So if you have a question that you want us to coach on and you are live on the Zoom with us, put a 1. Just put a 1 into the chat and we will know. And what we would love is to have you come off mute and share. And if you're like, Robin, that is just way outside of the zone of anything I want to do this morning, then type your question. And that's okay. If you want to type your question, still put a 1 and then type your question and we will read it and coach you that way. But if you're willing to come off mute and share, that would be amazing for all involved. So the first question that we have is from Heather Wagner. Now, Heather, you're on live. Do you want to come off? You can give us a look. She put a 1. She's ready. She's here. Let's go.
I'm literally still in bed though. So yeah. So my question was mostly like I just feel super unmotivated. It's like I'm totally in the summer slacker vibe. I feel like I'm a teenager. My house is a total mess. I don't like I could go to work, but I just like basically bare minimum. I go for like 2 hours a week or something like that. Um, and I'm mostly okay with it. Like I don't feel like I think maybe I feel like I should feel not okay with it, maybe. I don't know. Like I should be more productive. I have all this time off work where I don't have to be there, and I feel like, oh, I should de-junk my house and organize it and at least clean it so I can see the floor and not trip over everything. Like, you know what I mean? So I'm just not sure how I am. I don't know. I don't know what really my question because I'm still sort of half asleep because I just woke up because I stayed up till 2 in the morning like a teenager. Anyway, I don't know. Translate that and coach me.
Well, we get to ask a clarifying question.
Okay.
Do you want to change something?
Yes, I do. I want to be productive, but also I'm don't have the motivation to be productive. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay.
All right, queen bee people. That's a topic we've been a metaphor. We love metaphors. Women learn very greatly through metaphor. Who would like to take this question? Cherie, Missy, Christy.
No one's gonna go, guys. The hive's buzzing, guys. Okay. Hi, Heather. We're just so happy to have you here in our space. So I can relate. I can relate, right? We talked earlier this month. So if you are watching this call and you did not watch Robin's first call of the month about the transition into summer, it is a really great watch. But like right away, I know all the coach brains are like, oh, she said should.
I know. And I made it really, I tried so hard not to put that in my question when I was actually posing it online, but
You
it came
know
out.
better. Because Heather's been in our space before. So she knows that when we are shooting ourselves to death, that we have placed an expectation on ourselves or there's judgment there, right? Anytime we're shooting, there's judgment. So you're laying in your bed and I was like, good job. Like, yeah, you're laying in your bed. And so I think what Robin was moving you towards is clarifying for yourself, like, should Heather be getting out of bed? Is that what Heather truly wants this summer? So the problem is that we judge ourselves against what other people are doing or what winter Heather does or what fall Heather does. But does summer Heather get to be a different Heather? So really getting clear with yourself of like, how do you want summer to feel for you is going to help you clarify what you want to do. So when we're shooting ourselves, we're also not in choice, right? We're not in our agency because we're like, we're sitting on the fence of what we do and we don't want to do. So if you're lacking motivation, sometimes it's a good like opportunity to look at yourself and say, what does Heather want? It's our favorite question in this group. What do you want, Heather? And just saying, do you want a lazy summer, like an easy summer? And can it be both? can you have both and say, okay, one day a week or every other day, we're going to get up and clean up for 30 minutes. And so sometimes when I'm getting judgy about myself, about being lack of motivated, I was like, can that be fine? And can I just set a timer and be like, I'm going to clean for 30 minutes and see if that's enough? Is that what I want? And maybe I want to lay in my bed a couple mornings a week.
It's
And
kinda
maybe
nice.
that's just it's right. Right. And you're in a stage of motherhood where there's moms on this call with little toddlers going like, you can lay in your bed? Someone doesn't die?
Well, I was up till 2 waiting for my teenage boy to get home, and I fell asleep before he did. And looks like he got home at like 3:30, so that's fun. But he's also living his best life, right? He's having a good summer.
Right.
So
But are you living your best life, Heather? What does Heather's best summer life look like?
I know, right? Yeah, it's good questions. Obviously, there's a lot of stuff that I want, but I, uh, like I don't want my house to be a total mess, but I also don't want to clean it. So how does that one work?
Then you get to consciously choose. You get to
Yeah.
say, well, I can't have both. So I get to choose. I get to say, today I'm going to make my kids all get up and help clean. I have teenagers too. That's probably going to be at 3 p.m. today. And that's okay. Like, it's okay. It doesn't matter when it gets done, but you get to choose that too.
Yeah.
Does anybody else have any specifics for Heather?
I had one thought to add in for Heather. Hi, Heather. So good to see
Hi.
you. One phrase that I love that we say in our program is that clarity is a symptom of personal alignment. So like Missy was saying, you get to choose, but if you're not clear, like, I don't know what I want this summer, then you get to choose to get clear. Whether that's, sitting in meditation or just sitting in like, what do I really want? And choose that. And then as you get clear, you'll know, okay, that's really what I need right now. And if that's more rest, great. And if that's more productivity, great. As long as that's what you need and it's clear for you, it doesn't have to be what anyone else needs, but you have the opportunity and the growth opportunity here to choose and get really clear about what you do want.
Cool. See, I knew you guys would have all the answers.
I just
The
want to
answers
add
is
really
really just
quick.
I have the answer, right? That's what I hate. I love it, but I hate it. Just give me the dang answer. Just kidding.
I just wanted to add really quick that motivation is just like a phrase that's out there, right? It's not the reality. Like what both Missy and Christy said is you get to choose what you want. And when you're not in alignment with the clarity, then you don't feel the motivation, but motivation is a fallacy. It's like discipline is probably more accurate. Routine, structure, like what does that look like? What do you want that to look like? So I love the advice that you've already been given, but just keep in mind, like, oh, I need to motivate myself to do it. Does that actually motivate you? Because
No.
the reality is that motivation is just a word that is thrown around out in society, but that's actually not the reality. The reality is like getting to choose and change your mindset around like, if I just am structured and have a routine, but maybe you're so structured and routine through the school year because you're a teacher that you're like, you know what? I want to throw it all out the window in the summer. And that's okay too. You just, like I said, with both those ladies, just getting clear on what you want. Like, what is it that you do want?
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
This applies to so many things. Ladies, if you're on, put a 1 in the chat. I know some of you have stuff to be coached on. Get your 1s in there, like right now. But one of the things that's happening with Heather is she's seeing what we call in the coaching world, in the elevated mother world, contrast. She says, hang on a second here. How can I be laying in my bed at this time? Hang on a second here. What happens when teenagers are coming home at 3 a.m. and I'm not awake? What's happening here when my house is dirty and I'm not stressed out at work? These are all in contrast to Heather's ideal. So you get to look at that and say, this contrast is reflecting back to me my highest values. I want to be awake for my children. What a great mother you are. I would love my house to have a little order. What a great steward you are. I would love to have a little productivity and creativity in my life. Awesome. And I would like to lay in bed a little bit and have a summer slacker attitude. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You get to write this chapter, and the contrast shows up that shows us our highest values, and then we get to choose which ones we engage. There's nothing wrong here, right? There's nothing morally wrong here.
Yeah.
You're just seeing the contrast and getting the universe is like, oh, well, you just created a little smorgasbord of opportunity. How would you like to do it? Which ones will you be picking today? Because
Right.
contrast has showed you you're a good person. You're a great mom. You're a great steward of what you have. Let me lay out the smorgasbord of opportunity. And you're just going, someone else isn't clocking my time. Someone else isn't going to make me do this. What? Right? These
Yeah.
can be miraculous. That sounds like a miracle, right? In your life to be able to just be able to choose. What an opportunity. And if that means you're going to sleep in, bang, girl, own it. Own it. So good.
Cool. You always bring up that contrast when you coach me. So there's something there I think I need to learn with that. So thank you.
You're so welcome. Okay, Rebecca Ethington, and then we'll get Brittany Croft. Do you want to come off? She didn't type her question, so.
I'm struggling to mute myself again. Sorry. Dang phone.
There she is. Look at that beautiful face.
Looks like she might be outside.
Can you see me?
Yes?
No. Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes?
Okay. I can't see the video. But oh, okay. Okay. I have to go outside because my son is inside. So I just was hoping to have some coaching on my oldest son, who is 12, almost 13. He is let's see, I don't even know so he is adopted, and definitely an ADHD kid or ADD maybe. So he's got some really hard behaviors. He likes to just go around bothering everybody, getting in everyone else's business, telling everyone what they should do and how they should act. He doesn't have a lot of things that he does himself, like a lot of his own interests. And he's very impulsive. So he'll like take things of ours or lie a lot. He will argue. I mean, everything is like an argument or a fight back. And I can separate myself from it some, but when it's like, riling up the whole house, where it's of course hard for my husband and it makes him stressed out and ornery, and it makes all the kids angry and fighting. It's just, I guess it's not just, it's my choice to disengage from him, but then like the whole atmosphere of the house that I have to like just always constantly, to live in that culture, to live in that feeling and not let it rub off on you, I guess. So anything with how to help him or just, I don't know, help everyone and help myself to not become so reactive to him when it's just so constant.
Thank you so much for sharing that. And if you can read the chat on here, we've got multiple mothers that are saying, my friend, you are not alone. We've got Jacqueline that said, my youngest is 13, has ADHD and does some of those things. Megan says, my 13-year-old can be this way. It's hard to feel the whole household is chaos because of one kid's behavior. They're sending you lots of love and hugs. So you are not a lone pillar in the wilderness. There's a lot of love being sent your way. Ladies on the team, what would you love to reflect to Rebecca? Some questions for her.
Well, typically in our space, we always bring it back to you because you're the one you get to control your behavior, your choices, your attitude, and your attitude about the situation will determine everything. You know, it's how you feel about it. That being said, my area of expertise is childhood development and with our kids. And so I'm hearing that he's dysregulated. I'm hearing that he's seeking connection. Those behaviors are connection seeking behaviors, that whether he needs attention or he doesn't feel connected. Okay. And that's not a reflection on you. That's a reflection on him of his need right now. And so some of the things that you can do to help regulate him, don't wait until he's in a chaos mode, a chaos moment. You can introduce regulating activities on a daily basis. Things like exercise, even if it's just walking, being out in nature like you are right now, like come for a walk with mom. Sensory activities, even if it's just art with his hands, with water, things like that. So you can plan into your day regulating activities before he gets into that moment. And that will teach his body to become safe or to be regulated on a more consistent basis. And that helps retrain his nervous system. That being said, because I love practical tools, we've done a whole class on this. You can go back into the collective and we did a whole class on this a while ago. But it does come back to you. You get to set the example of how you regulate yourself. Oh, mom has big emotions. And when I feel frustrated like this is what I do. What would you like to try? You know, and then you get to offer him choice, right? Choice is king for us as moms, as, you know, setting the temperature in the house. And then it reflects back to him, I trust you enough, and you get to have choices too. And I know some of our other coaches can speak to this. They have children at your same age. Those were just a couple thoughts and practical tips that I've learned in my professional experience.
We do that and talk about that, and he would fight or hate any, you know, that would be another fight to get him to do any of those things. So I do it sometimes, but I go back and forth because, again, it's like another fight to have with him. So would you suggest doing that? Just make him do it, even if it also makes him mad and causes another disconnect because it's making him do something.
Right. Well, then it gets to come back to you modeling and you offering a choice. This morning, we're going to do something to help regulate our bodies. Here are the 3 choices. You know, which one would you like to choose today? Because this is part of our morning routine or our evening routine. Or, you know, if that's something that's super important to you, you know, then you still get to offer him a choice, but it's not a do you want to, a yes or a no. It's which one do you choose?
I just want to first start by sending you so much love. Like, I think so much so many times as moms, we see our kids' behavior as like a reflection of us. And so that's one of the beautiful parts that we teach in our program is learning to separate like and not take on that energy of your child as your own because it's not yours. So make sure, and then these are skills that you can also teach to your younger kids, like education and educating the kids, like, okay, this is, this is how we regulate our emotions. This is learning how to, ask nicely when somebody is like stepped into our boundary of like, you mentioned that he's very impulsive and he does things like impulsively. Like take things like he might just take something from his younger siblings or something like that. You mentioned that. So just coming back around to like, as a family, can you talk with your other kids about, what that might look like? And then also, along with what Christy said, is like just a clarifying question. Does your son do better with a routine and structure? Like, is it better in the school year when he's not like just left to like do, you know what I mean? Like, I know for my daughter, she's 9, but she does so much better with like a structure. And so summer is like, it's chaos at our house sometimes because that structure she like once she gets up and then she's like, oh, like instead of just getting up and doing her thing like she would on a school morning. So just a clarifying question, does he do better with the structure? Is that helpful for him?
Um, yeah, does better with anybody else, better than being at our home. So it's better at school just because he's at home less. But during school, he still, if he was home, it was still, the second he's home, he's back into the same patterns. And when he wakes up, even during school, it's great. We've worked on it, but it's a lot of times, straight to bothering somebody. So it's not like he'll just get up and get ready for school. So that makes it better.
Yeah.
So I don't know exactly. Not exactly better with structure or with
Okay.
free time.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. It makes sense. Like Christy said, maybe we could send you some resources on helping him regulate his nervous system. That may be helpful. But also I want to come back around to what you just said, which was like he does better with anyone else but me. That feels very heavy. So I just want you to take a deep breath and like just realize that he was sent to you for a reason, right? In the moments when it's so hard and things feel so heavy, it's hard to sit with that emotion and be like, oh, I don't like that feeling. And then you get to choose what the next thoughts are that come. How do you want to feel about your son? Like how do you want to feel? Because I know for me, being able to journal out how I want to feel about my child, in the program, we talk a lot about this as the contrast, which Robin brought up with Heather, and then creating an affirmation statement around like how we want to feel in that situation. And so I'm like sending you so much love and letting you know like you're not alone and that there's so many resources out there available, and we would love to help assist you in some of those resources if you need. But I'm going to turn it over to one of the other coaches because I can see that they have some other things to say.
Thank you.
Missy, do you have thoughts for Rebecca?
You can go if you're ready. Oh, okay. I do have a couple of things. Just like Cherie, like the reason we have this space is because as a mom, navigating parenting multiple children is challenging. I have 6 kids myself. I also have a teenage son, and I also have an ADHD son. So like you really aren't alone. And I mean, it was interesting to watch your body as, I mean, we're watching you on camera. So like even your body almost exhale when you can feel yourself being held by other women who get it, you know. And while we may not all share the same problems, we all share the same desire, and that's to love our children to the best of our capacity. I loved what Cherie and Christy said of really learning the skill of releasing your child to God and not taking that on as blame for yourself, and putting up a little bit of distance, not distance in the sense of like, you know, you're shutting down from your child, but really putting God in between you and your child, and understanding that like you're the mom. We say this all the time in the program, but like you're the mom for the job. And while that can be heavy and chaotic, really trusting God. And we love this idea in the program also of looking for extraordinary levels of support for yourself. I love to come back to the queen bee idea of when the queen bee does nothing other than really care for herself. And so much as a mom, we spend so much time with our energy spent elsewhere. So like, look, I just want you to stop and look what you're doing. You've got your headphones on, you're walking outside, you removed yourself from the house. Like you're doing the things to keep yourself in alignment with your own energy that allows you to communicate with God for your children. So like, I just want to celebrate that about you, because you clearly have learned a lot of self-regulating skills. Like you've tried so many things. And sometimes when we're in a difficult phase with the child, it's helpful has been for me at least to say, I may not know what to do. I may not know how to do this better, but God does. And to just keep leaning back into that, like God knows your kid, God knows your heart, and extraordinary support will show up for you. When I started to say, okay, God, I joke that I got to a point with God where I was like, all right, dazzle me, Jesus, right? Like I really started to live in this expectation of miraculous living. Of like, I don't know what the solution is for my kid this summer, but it's going to show up. And that gives us hope. And when we can anchor into that level of hope and faith, it gives us a capacity to just go another day. I think every mom on this call has laid in bed and been like, nope, I am not being the mom today. Don't want to do it. But like, who says that out loud? No one gets on Facebook and be like, I would not like to be the mother today. Who would love my children? I'm giving them away. Teenagers for sale, right? Like, okay, so like, though we don't have guilt here, we don't have shame in this group. Like, we get it. And so, like, guess what? You showed up today to be held in this space, and that's a little miracle for you. So when my life has been extraordinarily frustrating and difficult, adopting that miraculous mindset and putting God between me and my child has helped me time and time again. And just being able to literally, like the song says, throw your hands up in the air and say, Jesus, take the wheel. I have no idea what to do, but I'm willing to see it differently. I'm willing to look for the miracle and ask God to help you see it. And if you have been in this group, we also love the phrase, of course it did. Because when you lean into miraculous living, things will show up for you. Extraordinary levels of support, angelic support for your child. Cherie actually I was struggling with my teenager, go figure, the other day. And Cherie says, well, talk spirit to your teenager. And I was like, say what? And I'd never thought of that idea before. I was like, oh, I'm just going to pray direct. Like I'm going to speak directly to his spirit. And I was like, why have I never thought of that? But God dropped Cherie in my life that day to help me have a seed of hope that I could do something for my kid that I felt like I didn't even know what to do with him that day. So your birthright as a daughter of God is miraculous living. And like, that's what this group is for, is to stand for that for you. And like, we know you're the mom for the job and you're doing the things and you're supporting yourself. So be in this group, call in extraordinary support, and believe that God has that for you. Doesn't mean there won't be days where you're like, nope, I'm not getting out of bed today. Someone else can be the mom. But like, I mean, everyone's laughing because we've all been that. So we want you to know like how loved you are. And it's not just us. Like, I know we're just like random strangers on the internet, but like this kind of love, this sisterhood is from God and it shows up. So trust it and trust yourself. All right, Robin.
Any thoughts, Rebecca?
Oh, it was also good. Um, I believe God is a God of miracles, and I say that a lot, but yeah, that was a good way to apply it specifically, just to say dazzle me today.
Something that a skill for you to coach yourself through, and this is something all moms can do, is to become aware of the story that you've been writing. And you may actually sit down and write it. What is the story that I've been writing about my son and myself? We heard pieces of this story. He's better somewhere else. He bothers people all the time. He's dysregulated, right? What is this story that you've been writing? What is your piece? What is the character you've been playing in the story? And then you have the opportunity to call down the powers of heaven and say, I'm choosing to rewrite this story. And that's the power of the atonement of Jesus Christ, is that we can rewrite our story anytime we want. It is within our power to reframe what is happening, to reframe and affirm something about you and your son and his future and what's happening at any moment. And so I would encourage that you write the story, like, what have I been writing and living out? What are the beliefs that have been driving this story? And then write another one and say, this is what I believe about my son. This is what I believe about me. And this is what I believe is possible. Like, I really believe that this can be our story, and start rereading it, revise it, and live in the energy of the new story as often as possible. And I fully believe that the energy between you and your son will begin to shift.
Yes, that would be interesting. Write it down, actually, to see it all in front of me.
One of the most powerful things we can do is to write things down and witness our own thoughts. I like to take a little highlighter and I'll highlight adjectives that I used in my old story. And then I'll highlight adjectives that I use in my new story to start becoming aware of the different frequency in which I was living. And I can clearly see the better choice. It's no longer a question of, what's the next scientific justification for this? Or, it's just like, oh, this level of living in these words that are not even usually the story I was living in that was very frustrating wasn't as helpful or miraculous as the new story that is completely possible. So I'm grateful that you're open to receiving coaching, that you're open to receiving a new way of looking at this. I mean, in the program, we have what's called a book of wins. All the moms on here, if you don't have one, get one of those 97 spiral bound, 97 cents spiral bound notebooks from Target or whatever, and put book of wins. And anytime that you have a new awareness, anytime that you see a little miracle, write them all down. That thing can become a pillar of strength for you in these kind of moments. And you're like, all right, what have I done before? And what was there? It can become beautiful. It's a little different than just a journal, right? Really have my book of wins or my book of miracles, whatever you want to call it. If you don't have one, ladies, you can start one whenever you want. But if you come into the Elevated Mother experience, we will give you one. So beautiful question, Rebecca. This applies to so many
Perfect.
people.
Thank you.
Thank you for asking. So good. Is Brittany Croft still on? Like she put a 1 and then I think she said she wasn't sure if she could be here. I don't see her on live though. So maybe we'll get her question on a different time. Anyone else? I didn't see another 1. And Jen in the chat says it is good to admit or journal what script we've been actually saying. Yes. Yes, it is. Sometimes we think we know, and I'll even go journal and I'll be shocked. Has anyone been shocked? I'll be like, is that what I really think? I will tell you about 10 years ago, I would journal and it came to my awareness after some journaling coaching that I would correct as I went. I would scribble out words and then I learned, don't do that, Robin. You actually just write everything that comes out. Stop trying to put a filter on your own journaling. I can't even write stuff. But it was good. It was really good coaching for me. All right, Victoria. She says, how do we fight mom guilt? I have so much mom guilt all the time. Ladies, how do you fight against mom guilt? Victoria, we got you. Who wants to share? Nobody? Come on, ladies. Okay, well, okay, Missy came off.
I was just gonna say, I'm smiling and I'm so glad this question was asked because everyone feels this. And I was you. I was buried in mom guilt. And I think sometimes mom guilt can become paralyzing. It becomes paralyzing. It creates anxiety for us. And I'm really smiling because this space, this program has completely obliterated my mom guilt. Like it is very rare that I have a moment where I'm like, oh, that's mom guilt. I was like, where did that come from? And I lived in it. Like I was drenched in it. So I'm going to throw this one back at Robin. I just want to say that like, listen to Robin and we have so many resources for you on this. And I just want to like hold your little face and be like, we got you. Like this is a universal issue and it is also something you can overcome with skills. And I didn't realize that. I didn't realize I could like that there were actually mindset skills that could get me out of mom guilt. So I'm going to let Robin talk because she's the one who really taught me those skills. So go ahead, Rob.
I'm over here like, what have I said before that was super amazing on mom guilt?
It's a pickleball right back at you, Robin. I'm going to volley it back to you.
I know one of the chief reasons that people feel mom guilt is a self-identity issue. It's a perception issue. The way that you perceive yourself as a mom and ideals and expectations and all the things that you've had, again, it's kind of the same principle with Rebecca. Like, what story are you telling about your motherhood? And then when things aren't working out, it's all your fault. Like, I wrote this beautiful story of how motherhood was going to be. And now it's not that. must be my fault. It's all my fault, right? And there is a specific class, Victoria, that if somebody even wants to find it and put it in, there's a specific class in the EMC, in the Elevated Mother Collective, called Ditch the Mom Guilt, which is very good, very specific, has some very specific skills for the sake of time. Like, go and I will send it to you. I'm gonna make a note in case it doesn't get done. I believe it's on our YouTube channel too. It was one of our most popular listened to classes. But Victoria, the thing with mom guilt is that it is something that we all feel. And I would love if you have the capability to come into the chat or to come off. The story of mom guilt for each mom is different. And so we love to get clear on what it is for you. At the base of it, though, it is an identity feeling. It's something around, I am not doing something right. I am the cause of people's pain. And one of the reasons we do this is if we are taking on the responsibility of other people's experiences. Forgetting that if our child is sad or bored, the child chose sadness and boredom. Mom is not the cause of someone's feeling, right? It's okay if your 22-month-old is throwing a fit. We got you. You can come watch this recording too. So you don't have to come off mute, but anytime you can add anything clarifying in the chat, that's helpful. As coaches, we reflect back to you the truths that we hear in your own words as we help you come home to your own thoughts. We aren't up here like, oh, we're the experts on all things and our lives are perfect and we never struggle. No, we've learned the skills of being able to sit in our emotion, see our emotion, sit in the reality of whatever my child is experiencing isn't my fault. It just isn't. We sit in it and we go, how interesting, my child would choose this. And if I'm emotionally activated by that, what is my child reflecting back to me that I don't love? And the source of mom guilt many times is that we're being reflected something back to ourselves that we're not working on, we're out of alignment with. And it doesn't mean that we're broken and hopeless and all the things. It means something's coming up because you're ready to be aware of it. Motherhood, the choice to be a mom, often is the choice to become a new creature in Christ. Like, over and over and over again. Every phase of our child, every phase of 6 children, like we get to have that reflective power to do it over and over and over. And mom guilt is a message. It's a message. It's not a condemnation. It's a little note in your mailbox that says, hey, Victoria, something's coming up for you to learn. But if you've been in a space of self-judgment and taking off everyone's responsibility and all of these things, then that can feel absolutely heavy and like, what? I can't do that. This is impossible for me. And we can tell a story in our minds that becomes guilt-ridden. I should be doing better, right? Kind of Heather at the beginning, these should thoughts come up. I should be doing something different. And mom guilt is the product of those kinds of thoughts. She says, when I had my oldest, I was so patient. Good for you. I was not. But our family has gone through a lot in the last year, and now I'm easily irritated. She's the busiest child I or my family have ever been around. My youngest, 5 months, is a miracle baby. Literally died at birth and was brought back again. Wow. She is a miracle, but she is a very hard baby, super colic, not a good sleeper, and I am exhausted. Girl, I feel you. We're all going like this. Where's the hearts? Look, here they come. And she's hard of hearing and has hearing aids. All right, Victoria, this is your turn to write your story. This is a story of courage. This is a story of miracles. Oh, I'm like, where's Ashley? She said she couldn't be on, huh? Ladies, thoughts and insights about this courageous warrior and her feelings of mom guilt with this story. I'm like,
I'll
oh,
share.
there's thoughts. There's thoughts.
I'll share. First off, I want to acknowledge what you just said. Okay, now there's a plane passing by, loud. But I can see how there's a lot of reaction going on here, like reactive energy. And I've been in survival mode, so I see it clearly when other people are going through it too. You've been in the survival state of being, especially going through that traumatic experience with your daughter losing life and being brought back. Yes, there's a miracle there, but like skipping over the death part and the grieving, that side of it, there might be something there to address, that maybe writing it out, like Robin said, like share your story, like get it out on paper, put it out there, might actually help release some of the energy around it. Sorry, I work in a lot in energy, so I get to I get to see it, but that's one way to shift energy. And so if you write it out and you're just like, okay, but recognizing when you are being very reactive, it's because you've been living in that state of fight, flight, freeze, fawn, whatever. And it might be all of those, like you might encompass all of those things. But I did talk about that in, I want to say it's the Emotions Are Your Superpower class, where I talk about how important it is to feel all of your emotions. And so a lot of times we're just in a state where we're so heightened that we just react very quickly. And so in the program, we teach practicing the pause, practice pausing. Like once you're aware of like, I'm very reactive, and even putting language to that, like I'm very reactive to, what's going on in my house, and being able to come home and be like, okay, can I pause before I react? Now that I'm aware, can I practice pausing before I react? And that's been very helpful. I think a lot of moms could like in our program could be like, yep, just practicing the pause and recognizing that like, oh, how do I want to show up in this moment? How do I want to react instead of just reacting? And as Christy stated, getting your nervous system in regulation. And there's lots of ways to do that. I want to say I taught a class on that. Now I can't remember the name of the class, but I talk about tapping, I talk about grounding. I go through different steps. It's how to get out of reaction. So anyway, I just wanted to share with you like just so much love, because I've been in survival state, and that's kind of what I'm hearing from what you're vocalizing. So I'm going to turn it over to somebody else though.
And I'm just gonna, oh, go ahead, Missy.
Go ahead, Christy.
Oh. Okay. I also have a miracle baby of my own, Victoria, with my own journey there. And as a new mother, I thought, well, I should be so grateful that I have my baby, that I shouldn't, right? We talked about should at the very beginning, how I was judging myself. I shouldn't feel frustrated, or I shouldn't feel exhausted, or I should just be grateful that I even have her. Okay. So when you get to recognize I'm in judgment here, I'm judging myself for having a human experience. And Missy will say this, so I'll say it. Missy says all the time that being human isn't like less holy. It's the whole point. You're having a human experience. That being said, we're with you in that human experience about how it can feel. And there's something really beautiful about the duality of emotions that you're having right now. It's okay, and it's absolutely normal to feel happy and grateful and exhausted and frustrated at the same time. Those emotions can coexist. And that doesn't mean anything's wrong with you. Like Robin said, you're not broken, right? You're just having this human experience, and you get to sit and let yourself feel all those emotions because they're not bad. They're just telling you something, especially about what do I want this experience to be? And if there's contrast between where you're at and what you'd like, you get to go and write your story. You get to go and look at that with so much love and grace for yourself about feeling all the emotions. In the past, I used to have the pattern, try and skip through the uncomfortable ones, didn't want to sit there. I just need to skip to the gratitude. I just need to skip to being happy about this. But the Lord is in the pause. God loves you so much. Now, when you're frustrated, when your baby's happy, I can hear my baby crying right now, right? And the Lord is with you. If you'll sit in those emotions, He will sit there with you, and He will help you grow and come back to yourself in those times. So, I'll turn it over to Missy.
I knew you were going to say that, Christy. It's the shoulds. Victoria, I had my last two were 21 months apart, and my toddler was crazy, like climbed out of his bed at 18 months and could unlock doors. He was wild. And then my sixth baby was incredibly difficult, cried all the time, didn't sleep, very colicky. So like, I feel this so deeply for you. And I went through a phase, you probably are, you went through a traumatic birth experience with your daughter, and that gets to be acknowledged. And like Christy was saying, you probably have moved. The reason this guilt is coming up because you're in the should. I should be so grateful, but this is still human and hard. And you probably are still in a level of traumatic response, and physically you are exhausted. Toddlers are busy and need, like babies that need a lot of extraordinary levels of support from their mother can be very physically exhausting. So I just want you to know that, like, we see you, we get it, but none of it is your fault. And God knew that when He was sending you those two specific babies, that He was sending them to a human mother, not a perfect one. And my mom guilt started to get easier when I accepted my humanity. That is my favorite quote. Being human is not less holy. It's the whole point, because it drives us to God. It drives us to look at ourselves. It drives us to grow. But you also get to say, this is going to be a physically challenging season for my body, right? So where can I call in miraculous levels of support? Where can I support my nervous system? Where can I go outside? Wear the baby on your body, put your toddler in the stroller and get outside. Like, do everything you can. And we have resources that we can help send you to calm your nervous system, because like we said, you're the queen bee. Like, you get to do everything humanly possible that you can think of to support yourself, and know that God is the number one support for you. Even though I know when you are in it day to day, feeding a baby, up all night, chasing a toddler, you can feel very isolated. It's like you have little people touching you 24/7, but you feel really alone. It's this weird conundrum of motherhood. So just remember that there are spaces for you like this one. So start looking for ways to support your body, your nervous system. Supporting yourself is the best thing you will ever do for your children. Ever. Because they need their mama. And you need you. You need you. So I think that's been a theme of this call, is really calling in that extraordinary level of support. And like, that's why we have this group. That's why we have the programs that we do. So if anyone is on this call and you're like, okay, I'm ready for some extraordinary support, give me the resources, help me, like, reach out to us, comment. I'm ready. Help me. And we will help you. That's why this group exists. Robin, I love her like to the depths of my soul because she was brave enough, because she was that mom. She was the overwhelmed mom. And she worked on herself and she thought, if I can do it, I can help another mom do it and can help another mom do it. And that's what I've done. That's what Christy's done. That's what Cherie's done. We're not like these holy saint women. We're not. We're just mothers who are in it with you. And that's why this group exists. So that's why we're here. So I just want to thank everybody for coming. And Robin, do you want to say anything, close it out, or?
Yeah, I saw Jen. Did you want to come on and say anything? You can't, you finally got Zoom to work. We're all celebrating.
Yeah, thank you. Hey, everybody. I just Missy, I know you probably remember this, but I was struggling so much with this last year, like in tears, because I was having so much mom guilt about taking time for myself. Missy helped me see that, I'm getting emotional because I've come such a long way since then. And you can't give to people from an empty bucket. And you have to take care of yourself. And everything else is going to be okay. And oh my gosh, sorry, I didn't. Something I did was I just had a talk with my family. And I just said, let's think about in the next few days, what are our top needs that we need. And this is kind of getting off a little bit, but I'll come back to it. And so I gave everybody a couple days to think about it, and everyone said what their top things are and what we needed from each other. And I said, I need to be able to work out and take this time without feeling guilty. And that means sometimes we need to spread the load of making dinners or cleaning up or like whatever we decided. And they stepped up to the plate for me. And I was so scared because I didn't think that they would. And I thought that it would make it like more tension, but it's been the best thing ever. And so maybe that's just all we need to do is just like ask the people in our lives to step up for us because you're worth it. We are worth it. And that's all I had to say. And let them do it. And we'll release it. It's okay. It's okay if the towels get folded wrong. It doesn't matter. They're clean and everyone can have a clean towel. And that's really all that matters, right? Anyway, that's all.
Thank you, Jen. Thank you so much. Thank you for your vulnerability. When a mom can be vulnerable, it gives every other mom permission to be vulnerable. And
Thank
so
you.
often we are afraid of judgment in our vulnerability, of sharing those deep thoughts, of sharing those experiences that blew our minds. Thank you, thank you, thank you. She has expressed something that clients that come into our space tend to be women that have seen themselves in these really high standards. And so they want to always perform at this many times unrealistic ways of being. And when we are human, we find all these stories of like, I can't, and it's hard. And these people they're thinking less of me because I'm not performing at this standard. And we start telling these stories and then we project it, even though no one else in our life was telling that story. Sometimes my husband is shocked at the thoughts that I reveal to him. He's like, what? You thought what? And I'm like, man, I have been telling you a story about this that is not very helpful. But I always have to remember that. No one else is telling the story that I'm telling. I'm the only one that's building my fire that I'm walking through. The refiner's fire that we talk about, we're the ones that are stoking it. So just be aware of the stories that you're telling. This is beautiful, Jen. You changed the story. And one of the things that Jen illustrated so beautifully was she's shifting her skill of receiving, of really receiving other people into her life, receiving coaching today, or from Missy, receiving help from her family, receiving. That is something that I'm really proud of you, Jen. It's just something this world needs more of. And so we say, one changed mom will change a generation. Your kids watching you go through that are now like, oh, when I feel stressed, I can sit down with my support and have a different story. What a powerful example. Thank you so, so much. All of you ladies that have come on, we love you. We're sending all the love and the good vibes. You're all incredible. You're worthy of coaching. You're worthy of coming on to all of our calls. We would love to have you in our space. If you're ready for one-on-one, you're ready for the guidance, the process of what we teach that's helped all of us get to a space of more neutrality and more joy. And I love what Missy said, that we stand for miraculous living from others. I'm like, Cherie, that is our next t-shirt. Like, I love that so much. I love it so much. Just in my walk today, there was on the audiobook, he said, what you stand for starts to reveal your soul. And so I'm like, oh, that's beautiful. Ladies, take a moment to say, what do I stand for? Who do I stand for? And I hope you're on that list. Have an amazing day. This was an amazing call. And it wouldn't be amazing without you amazing women. So thank you. Have an amazing weekend. And we will see you all on another call.